joined by Mr. Orobosa Omo Ojo, journalist and also publisher of Midwest Herald, and we will be expecting to be joined by Dr. Barry Johnson, youth leader of the Labour Party. Mr. Orobosa Omo Ojo, you're welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. Mr. Orobosa, I was wondering what you thought about the president's comments when he said that he is not responsible. Did he mean that he is not directly responsible? Because there seems to be a machinery on ground that is recruiting, let me put that in air quotes, recruiting members for the APC. So, did he mean he is not directly involved in the defections that we're seeing on the political terrain?
Your viewers, I know New Central is widely watched, so I'm happy that you, my colleagues, you've taken time to pick this very, very apt topic for us to discuss this Sunday morning. Democracy is not a primary means of leadership in Africa. So it is in Nigeria. Democracy and everywhere in the world is built on persuasion, is built on results, is built on struggle by decent means, not by shooting, not by fighting. I seal the response by the opposition accusing the president of doing everything or coercing the opposition members to join the APC as a mark of lily liver politicians who want their cake to be baked for them. And some of them even want their mouth to be open and just drop a piece of the cake in it. I don't see anything wrong at all, even if the president goes outside his comfort zone to persuade any member, whether governor, whether senator, whether member of House of Rep, to come join his party. Let's look at America. Donald Trump is doing everything to make everywhere in America to be red. And the Democrats are losing ground. Every midterm election, you can see the vigor that Donald Trump put into it to ensure that the Republicans are winning more states, more counties. Trump may be using a different method to coerce, if I may use that word, members of the Democrat to join the Republican. Nothing is wrong with that at all. As long as nobody is injured in the process, nobody is attacked violently, nobody is arrested and tried for corruption cases that has been left in the file for the past 15 years. Those ones I don't support. But if a governor wakes up and says, okay, because he wants to win a second term, I think I'm safer with the structure of APC in my state than the PDP. I don't see anything wrong in it. Let me say this. By extension, I'm a small politician. At least I have vied for offices before. It will be stupid at this point in our political history for anybody, any politician who is serious to provide leadership to look at, for instance, the PDP, if I'm allowed to mention parties here, as a vehicle for them to transform their aspiration to reality. It's not done. Let me quickly just say this. When we came in 2006, 2007 in Edo State to sack the PDP, many of us, including Comrade Adams Ali Oshomole, that I worked with them as a director of media and strategy, we're not politicians, but something prompted us to say
Mr.
enough
Omojo,
was enough.
Mr. Omojo, please, I do beg your pardon.
So
I do beg your pardon.
Let me just land here, madam. Just let me land
okay.
here. But what we see these days is that the opposition are quick to blame a ruling party for their ineffectiveness, for their inability for them to be able to bring forth whatever they think that they want to change. If you want to sack a government that is in power, you don't wait for them to come and poach your members. You equally have to do everything possible to market your party, to market your candidate in such a way that it will be appealing to both the people that are not in your party and both your members in the party, including the governor, the senator, and House of Rep members that are decamping.
All right, Mr. Omo Ojo, now what makes this instance of defection very different or consider it, what makes people consider it is the fact that it's on a very large scale. That's one. And then the proximity to the elections. But let's take a look at it legally now. Now, Nigerian constitution allows freedom of association, yet it also places condition on defections for legislators and also officers. Section 68 of the 1999 constitution provides that a lawmaker may lose their seat if they defect, except where there is a division in their original party. And that seems to be the loophole that is being taken advantage of now, especially the proximity with the elections. There are also certain mechanisms and machineries that are put in place where certain officers or individuals loyal to a party, well, we've seen this happen, especially in the elections from last weekend in Abuja. You have a visit, you speak with a member, and then after the elections, or even very close to the election, a defection to the ruling party. So how can you defend that? How can you defend the president when he says that he is not involved, when it seems there is a machinery put in place by him to actually make these defections happen?
Well, if you say there are machineries put in place, I want to ask you, you are a journalist, you are a broadcaster. Please, can you tell your viewers, can you tell me, is there any political party right now outside the APC that you don't have division among them? Is it Labour Party? Is it PDP? Is it ADC that just started yesterday? We are here in my state. Before anything could happen, we're having divisions, we're having factions already because of tickets that will be given to their kids, that will be given to them. They're already fighting. Now, if anybody decides to now abandon ADC, for instance, and say, okay, they are joining the APC, do we blame Mr. President for that? For our internal crisis here, for a party that can manage their internal crisis? So if there is a hole, we have an adage here in Benin. Benin say, it means if there is no hole in any tree, the ant can never find its way in. So if you open your party in such a way there is an internal wrangling, there is complaint, and any political party that is smart enough decide to capitalize on it and take your members and make your governors to defect, I don't see how we have to blame the opposition. When I say the opposition, I don't see how we are supposed to blame Mr. President for being smart enough. Don't forget, this was the president who started from Lagos State.
I think you just used the word there.
Lagos State joined it. So if he's exploring political machinery and tactics
let me jump on the word
APC, he has done
Mr. Omo Ojo,
Mr.
Omo Ojo, you've just said the word. You said the president capitalizes on it, which means that there is intent. Even if he doesn't do so with his own hands, there is that machinery. Let's take an example from the last elections in Abuja. We had video, there is a video of the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, telling a group of people that if you do not vote for so-and-so, I will not build roads or schools for you. So if you vote for, no, actually he said, if you vote for him, I will build you roads, I will build you infrastructure. This seemed like a subtle threat. It seemed like unless you do this, we're not going to. So would you say that with that person proximate to the president, you can't say Tinubu without saying Nyesom Wike? Are you saying that this is not a direct relationship of cohesion? Or with cohesion, rather?
Cohesion or coercion, whatever it is, I differ from it. Let me say, I'm not defending Wike now. I'm not defending Wike here. But my reasoning is this. If you vote for this candidate, I'll be able to build road for you. It's just like campaigning for a House of Assembly member in a state or a National Assembly member. And the president comes up to say, please, if you vote for the candidate B of my party, who is running for Senate, I'll be able to build a road for you. It's simple. It's logical. If you don't vote for him, opposition comes to the Senate or House of Assembly or
Mr. Omo Ojo, this is becoming syntax.
Maybe that was what Wike meant. To say, because
he said,
the council,
I will.
The council
he didn't say,
in Abuja are part and parcel of the development of FCT. So if you vote for this man, he will join me to ensure that the road to your rural area, to your house, to your street is constructed. That is my belief. And as a strategist, I will equally use that jury campaign to say, hey, you know what? It's give and take. Vote for this man so that I can give him enough assistance to be able to do the road to your place. It's not a threat, it's nothing. It's marketing. Now, there's something you have to realize. Madam, let me just add this, please. Let me add this. Take the capital market, for instance, now. If any particular share, the share value, the people that forecast, the speculators in the capital market, they can speculate that, for instance, a bank B share will say high on Tuesday. What do you see? You see people rushing to buy the shares of that bank a day before or 2 days before. They are strategy. They are strategy. The president has done nothing there. He has not put gun on anybody's head.
Mr.
Say
Ojo,
you must vote. Yes.
I just want to hear from you. I think what I like about these conversations is that sometimes our ability or inability to give a yes or no, it tends to be a bit tricky. In terms of capitalizing on the what's the word, Mazino?
Machinery?
No, not even machinery.
Which one now? I used a lot of words.
Yeah, you use a lot of them. In terms of capitalizing on the discord that is happening within the different parties. Let's not perhaps say the president, because I know that it becomes a bit tricky for us to give that answer. Is the APC capitalizing on the fact that there is discord in these other parties? Look, political evangelism is a no-brainer. You packaged it right now as marketing. The timing of the marketing is very questionable, but that's fine. It's evangelism in the way that he wanted to do it. We can't assume what he meant, but we know what he said. So from a capitalizing standpoint, in the various rankings, is the APC capitalizing on the fact that there is discord here? Because if there is discord, this for them creates a pathway where people can just really come one. It's a come one, come all policy at this point. Is there a door to capitalize on the discord of the different parties at this current present?
You want my answer to be that? Yes. And if the APC handlers were not capitalizing on it, I'm very angry with them. I'm a strategist. I have been spokesman to Comrade Adams Ali Oshimole. The last election that just passed, I was the director of media and publicity to Governor Okpebolo. We always look for pitfalls. We always look for errors in the opposition. The other party too have to look for errors in my own party too. And if they don't do it, it's their luck. Now let me put in place with an example of what blew up around the globe yesterday. Trump saw that in Iran, that the Iranians were dissatisfied with their leadership this present time. He capitalized on the fact that there was discord, there was disharmony on the streets of Iran, in the villages of Iran. And he went there to try and ensure that there was a regime change. He didn't hide it. And he called on Iranians to say, this is your lifetime opportunity. Change your government and better your life. There is no, like I said when I started, politics is not for the faint-hearted. I want to blame the opposition because why? I love opposition politics. We did it in Edo State and we did in 2006, 2007 with a party that did not have one House of Assembly member, not one chairmanship, not one councillor. We did it because we were brave, because we had a message, because we were prepared to lead. The opposition, and they are very selfish. Everybody in a party that is just starting, 4 or 5 persons wants to be president. 8 persons want to fight for the ticket for the Senate. That is an invitation to anarchy. When we did it, we sat down, the Labour Party and AC sat down in those states and said, we have one governorship candidate, which was Adams Aliyu Oshomole. And that was how we were able to come together. We are journalists. We ought to start telling the opposition, anybody that comes to us to ask for our support, to say, you want to change government, you guys should marry yourself. Let them, using the word, they should marry themselves. The ideology, they should marry it. They should marry their interests. Everybody can be president at the same time. Bola Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, waited, supported our late president, who wasn't the most popular person because of his ideological belief. But because he believed to say, okay, after this man, I will have my turn. What is happening is everybody, I don't want to mention their names, all the aspirants here, I don't want to give them free publicity. I am very unhappy with them because they are very, they want to use the psyche of Nigerians to say things may not be working well, to say, okay, they will just sneak in. And you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not done. We should blame them as media men to say the opposition, they are crying foul, they are crying foul because they are lazy, because they are selfish, they are self-centered, or what my professor we call selfism. They need to cure their selfism first before they can look at the ruling party to say they are causing our problem.
Mr. Omo Ojo, in all of this, nobody is talking about the constituents, the people that are being represented by these elected officers who would carry my vote and shift to another party, even where I do not ideologically align with that party. That seems like theft to most people who are in this argument. Now, should there be a law that bans politicians from moving, especially when it's past midterm, closer to get to the elections, perhaps there should be that kind of reform. That's for INEC to answer. But regarding the constituents, the people, myself and other brothers that I have at home who have voted in a member, and now he wants to switch, should elected members be compelled to actually seek a new mandate from their constituents when they want to shift or when they do shift parties?
Whatever we say here now is immaterial. It's like we are just professing. This has been put into test in the law court. To answer you, there will be need to look into those letters in our laws, the electoral law, the constitution. With that clause that says, except, that caveat that says, except there is disagreement that amounts to faction or whatever in the political party, there will always be fight. If there's no fight, I can orchestrate a fight within my party. For instance, if my party says they want to choose a candidate and I'm vying for the governorship of the state, you want to use consensus to pick your candidate. And the issue of consensus is very clear. All aspirants must agree before there is a consensus. If not, you will have to go to field. And if I decide to say, let me cause crisis in party A or party B, or my party, as it were, I can refuse to accept the consensus clause. Of course, knowing who leaders are, political leaders in Nigeria are, can go ahead and call me bluff, conduct the primaries, use the consensus, and not give me a vote. But by the law, I have a right, especially with the amended electoral act now. I can go to court to vent my anger. And by so doing, I start my preaching, I start my court cases, I write INEC, don't accept their list and whatever. There's a division already. There's a division. No matter how you interpret it, that's a division. All just like what somebody is doing now, you have one faction in Ibadan, the High Court in Ibadan, and said, this is this. Another federal High Court in Abuja and said, this is this. How do you question the man that is decamping under that circumstance?
Well, Mr. Omo Ojo, you can't question. Mr. Omo Ojo, you can't question it.
After you, I said it is wrong for a democracy.
I will tell you something, sir. I will tell you something, sir, that it would seem that there seems to be a very big disillusionment when it comes to the governing body and the electorates, the voters, the young ones especially, who are beginning to see these kinds of movements not as strategy, political strategy, but as betrayal, because it's stealing their votes and it's shifting it to parties that they do not ideologically align with. It's plain, it seems plain and simple. That's the argument. And I'm wondering if you don't see it or if you don't agree that this is some kind of betrayal when it comes to grassroots politics. And this is what causes voter apathy, because if I vote, tomorrow is going to shift anyway, so why vote anyway? So the concerns are for democracy. Is the presidency concerned about the effect of these defections on democracy itself, because it's no longer seeming like democracy when you only have one party?
I started by saying I am not happy with the trend. I said that at Benicio, but I said we are crying. We are just only going to go ahead and cry, because we don't have anything as a media person, as media practitioners to effect a change. And I said, except we go back to the law, except we go back to the Supreme Court, because there are cases already that has been adjudicated that give strength, that give power to whoever wants to take up. So we have to look at that. I said yes, because our democracy must be allowed to entrench in such a way that we not have ideological divide. If you are a Democrat, for instance, in America, we know what the Democratic ideology is. If you are a Republican, we know what the Republican ideology is. We must allow our democracy to grow in such a way to say, okay, fine. If they are a group of pious persons, very pious men and women, who do not want to live a life where our neighbors will think, you know, it is normal for us to steal public fund, to embezzle public fund, and buy flying cars. I saw one day the flying cars have emerged. And if I want to just wear my cheap kaftan and just be in a party where I have my colleagues, but all we want to do is I want to live among our neighbors in such a way our neighbors can come, take their bucket, come and fetch water from my house. I don't have dogs that will eat them or whatever. Such parties should be able to remain. Then if there's going to be a party for the public looters, let me use that word, the noble rich, those ones that believe that life is about them, service is about them, you know, how much they take, fine. So that once we go to the electorate, they'll be able to look at our lifestyle, how we live. Look at the other man's lifestyle and say, when this man became council chairman last time, it was bicycle he brought to the council. When he was leaving, he left with about 4 or 5 cars. It's not left for the electorate to not decide. Yes, I want. We must be able. But again, we can't just continue talk without any result. And I'm saying that we should push as journalists, as reporters, as media people, we should push the institutions in such a way that the governing laws, the enabling environment, the enabling laws in such a way, we can push National Assembly, we can push the Supreme Court now, needs to interpret that session. What is it that defines eternal wrangling in a political party? If you slap me, I slap you. Does that lead to eternal wrangling? No. And INEC should stop playing a smart game of not accepting a list from this, not accepting a list from this. Once the court says, you know, don't accept this list, they withdraw it. We saw what happened in Edo State in the last election. How PDP
Mr. Omo Ojo?
till a night, just a minute, please. A night before their primaries,
right? Mr.
Courts were still giving contradicting, ruling or judgment on which list INEC should accept, which list INEC should really accept.
Right.
In such a way, we can't have democracy.
Thank you so much, Mr. Omo Ojo. I think this is a verdict that would have to be ruled in the high courts. But thank you so much for your conversation and insight on this matter.